If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, then chances are you've probably seen this meme, Cabba vs Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I remember this popped up right before the release of Sparking Zero and immediately took the whole internet by storm. There were a ton of memes all over the Dragon Ball community when this joke first started. It's gotten to the point where people are still debating this online. But is it actually a joke or not? Does this puny Saiyan really beat the most powerful character in GT? I feel like there's a ton of different key points that people either forget or just don't bring up when they go over this topic. So today we're going to scale both of these characters and see who actually wins this matchup, and really is it even going to be close? Let's get into it. We'll start with Cabba's. I'm going to be using Cabba from the Universe 6 tournament. I'll also mainly be using the anime while keeping the manga in mind, since the anime scaling is usually higher, and I'll mostly be going over his base form, but we'll address the Super Saiyan forms a bit. So, to start, we first see Cabba battle against Vegeta in the Tournament of Destroyers. Vegeta claims that Cabba is as strong as he is. This seems consistent, as the two appear to be relative in power. They have a beam clash, and the beams just get cancelled out, as neither fighter has one distinct edge over the other. And in the anime, Vegeta even makes this comment to himself, so it's not like he'd have any reason to lie. People have tried to argue that Vegeta was holding back in order to teach Cabba Super Saiyan. However, in the anime and manga, Vegeta says he won't be holding back, and it's only after the fight has gone on for a bit that Cabba asks for this. Before that, nothing had been established between these two that would suggest this. So yeah, Cabba is in fact equal to Vegeta in this arc, which begs the question of just how strong is Vegeta at this point? He had spent 3 years training in the Time Chamber alongside Goku, and should be above his power level in the Resurrection F arc by a pretty big margin. And it's more than likely him and Goku are sitting at the same level of power. The two of them have remained pretty relative to each other throughout the series. Nothing really suggests that one of them is that much stronger than the other. So now the question is, are Goku and Vegeta in Resurrection F stronger than Super Saiyan God Goku in Battle of Gods? Well, here's the thing. In the anime, Beerus points out that Goku absorbed the God form into his base, and still has the power, despite the transformation being gone, which is pretty consistent to both the movie and anime versions of Resurrection F. There's also an art book stating they can use the Super Saiyan God power in their base form, and becoming Super Saiyan is how they transform into blue. And to top it off, Toriyama stated in a Battle of Gods interview that Goku absorbed the power, so there's quite a few sources to confidently make this claim. Near the end of Battle of Gods, Goku is fighting Beerus as a Super Saiyan, which we know has a multiplier of 50. Goku and Vegeta kept training with Whis well after this arc, so that means Resurrection F Goku in base is at least 50 times stronger than he was in Battle of Gods, likely higher. This means Cabba is above Resurrection F Vegeta, who is above Battle of Gods Goku, by a pretty high margin. It's also worth noting that Goku surpassed his own limits at the end of the movie and went beyond the level of Super Saiyan God. And Super Saiyan God is way beyond Vegeto's power too. Goku states that if he and Vegeta did fusion, it still wouldn't be enough to stop Beerus. It's likely he was thinking of a hypothetical Super Saiyan 3 version of Vegeto, since this would be the strongest form available at the time, and so would be the most powerful boost he could think of. Yet Super Saiyan God Goku was able to match Beerus in battle, so this means Super Saiyan God Goku is above a what-if Super Saiyan 3 Vegeto from that point in time, which would obviously be far stronger than Vegeto from the Buu saga. But this doesn't mean Goku was equal to Beerus, as Beerus was heavily suppressed in this battle, so Goku was just equal to the level Beerus was using. It was stated multiple times over that this battle would destroy the universe from the shockwaves Goku and Beerus created. So does this make Goku universal? Well, kinda, but you could go higher. You see, Dragon Ball's universe is a macrocosm that consists of multiple infinite-sized realms, so destroying the Dragon Ball universe would equate to destroying several universes at once, so this would make Goku low multi. The fact that these shockwaves can travel from one side of the universe to another in such a small time frame means they would have to be traveling at least multiple quintillions of times the speed of light, and Cabba's speed is far, far beyond this level. So Cabba's scaling is crazy. So now for Gogeta's scaling. Remember how I said earlier that there's a few things people either don't consider or just forget? Well, GT is a direct continuity of the Dragon Ball Z anime and takes place in a different timeline, whereas Super is supposed to be a direct sequel to Dragon Ball Z Kai, which follows the manga more accurately. The original Toei version of Z has way higher scaling than Kai does, since Kai is more accurate to the manga. Whereas Z has its own original arcs, plus different statements and feats that completely change the way some characters can scale. For instance, Anime Goku and Pikkon travel from Grand Kai's planet to Hell in a pretty short time span. and there's a few guides and statements confirming these realms are endless. So they're both crossing two infinite-sized realms, and would, by definition, be traveling at infinite speed. And Goku's doing this in his base form too, before the 7-year time skip, just to show how broken the non-canon scaling is. It's also worth noting the movies are canon to GT's timeline too, and there's a few things that back this up. Gogeta from Fusion Reborn was stated to be the same one from GT, who was way above Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And this Goku was able to shake both Otherworld and Hell by just powering up, two infinite-sized realms being shook with just his transformation alone. Gogeta has a few feats he scales above, and even some feats of his own that can easily get him to low multi. In the Z anime, Kid Buu has a couple statements that put him at universal. In GT, Rildo was stated to be stronger than Buu near the beginning of the series. Goku eventually defeats and surpasses Rildo, so base Goku should already be far above universal at the start of GT, but it gets even crazier than that. Omega Shenron is low multiversal. He scales way above Black Smoke Shenron, and he was stated to be able to destroy the entire universe on the official Toei website, along with all the Shadow Dragons. Sin Shenron alone was way above Black Smoke Shenron, who can destroy the universe, and after becoming Omega Shenron, he claims he has all 6 of the Shadow Dragon's power, and that he's at least 10 times stronger. And this is before he even uses his negative energy ball, his most powerful attack. His presence alone was destroying the entire universe, but for some reason this feat is heavily downplayed in the Dragon Ball scaling community, while the Battle of Gods feat is widely accepted, even though Goku and Beerus' fight was stated to have the potential to destroy the universe by repeated shockwaves. But after 3 of these, everything was perfectly fine. The Earth didn't even seem in as much danger as it did with the negative energy Omega Shenron was exuding. And Goku wasn't performing this feat all by himself, plus Beerus was heavily suppressed. And even if they were to destroy the universe this way, it wouldn't technically make them uni by default, since it's 2 people exerting equal amounts of force. It's similar to that feat from Invincible, where the 3 Viltrumites team up to destroy a planet. Since all 3 are participating, it isn't fair to call any of them planetary on their own. Omega Shenron's power was even reaching the realm of the Kais, to the point where Kibito Kai wanted to leave, believing they might still have a chance at escaping, further showing how devastating this energy was. As for Super Saiyan 4, there's no official multiplier in GT, however, we do know that Golden Grade Ape is a 500 times multiplier, and Super Saiyan 4 is more powerful than this form. Goku would go on to become much stronger than this by the end of the series, and we know Vegeta was equal to Goku, since fusion requires you to have the same level. So let's try to put it all into perspective. Goku had already far surpassed Kid Buu at the beginning of the series, and then would go on to become much, much more powerful than that. We know fusion adds the user's power and then multiplies it, so Goku's level would be doubled after added to Vegeta's, who's equal to him in power. As for the multiplier, the perfect files state Gogeta is dozens of times stronger than a Super Saiyan 4. This means he's at least 24 times stronger than Goku and Vegeta's combined power, which is just nuts. Omega Shenron is low multiversal, and Gogeta claims he only needs 1 finger to defeat him, which is also stated in the perfect files. This is pretty consistent, and doesn't seem like an exaggeration, since Gogeta was so much more powerful that he did not take the fight seriously. He was too strong for Omega Shenron to blitz, and could even repel him just by opening his eyes wider. Everyone always goes on about how Jiren was so strong because of his ki control, but Gogeta's is nothing to laugh at either. The negative energy ball was going to wipe out the entire universe, including all the realms within it, and Gogeta stopped this with 0 effort. Not just that, but he completely purified it and restored the universe back to its original state with just a kick. This alone puts him at low multi, since a mere fraction of his power far outclasses Omega Shenron's. Being able to deflect his strongest attack with ease and defeat him with 1 finger already scales him much higher than Super Saiyan God Goku's feat of almost destroying the universe with help, but not really. Overall, Gogeta has some absolutely absurd scaling. He has far better ki control and abilities, both Goku and Vegeta's level of skill, who are much better fighters than Cabba, and just has blatantly better feats overall. And of course, his speed is leagues above Z Goku's, which is immeasurable, so there's pretty much no advantage Cabba has here. I don't even think Tournament of Power Cabba with his Super Saiyan 2 form would be enough to even the odds. I feel like people tend to heavily downplay the scaling of GT because, well, let's be honest, many fans don't really like the show that much, and it has a lot of not so great reviews. But also, as stated earlier, there's a few points people don't really consider, like the series being a continuity of Toei's version of Z, which just has higher scaling. So with all jokes aside, the non-canon scaling is just beyond cracked, and it gets Gogeta to ridiculously insane levels. I'm not saying that Gogeta can defeat everyone from Super, not at all, and the question of how far he actually gets is a little tricky. But as far as Cabba scaling goes, he is crazy strong. But even with all that, Gogeta absolutely annihilates, and it's not even close. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because it took forever. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time.